This is there's some macaroni and cheese in there. I don't eat a lot of macaroni and cheese, but here lately it's something cheap I can get, and I can cook up some ground beef or something and add to it, chop up an onion and everything. But I like to add a little bit of brown rice, and then I had some lentils. So there's a little bit of lentils, a little bit of brown rice, a chopped up onion, and then there's some the macaroni, and I've added a little bit of the cheese already. I have another packet of the cheese stuff because this is going to be pretty good. What I'm going to do is, because I don't have an actual stove. That's the spot where my stove's supposed to be, but it ain't. Hadn't had a stove in a couple of years almost. So I cook with this hot plate, and sometimes I cook on this. This needs to be cleaned. It's like an electric grill, but the thing, it's kind of dirty right now. But anyway, my point being, nobody's here, but so I'm letting this get kind of all good and done. And the next step, I'll take this off, put the lid on, I'll get the skillet, and I'll start frying me up some ground beef and stuff. But right now, I'm just kind of letting things get to where they need to be. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, that's good. So we're going to do that. And then oh, sorry, guys. I don't know if anybody's there or not. I don't see anybody here. I went to church today. Mixing in some more of that cheese powder there, or fake cheese. Got to remember, I don't like eating a lot of noodles and stuff. Hello there, somebody. I see somebody's in there. Well, somebody just popped in. I don't know who it was. I'm working on something. This is like a hodgepodge of, well, there's macaroni and cheese in it, and I just added my second little pack of the cheese. But I was saying I don't like to use a lot of macaroni and cheese. If I do, I need to use the noodles that aren't like the regular, not processed noodles. But anyway, I've been getting some cheap macaroni and cheese here lately, and then getting some ground beef or marked down meat, cooking it up, making some macaroni and cheese, chopping up an onion, throwing an onion in, some rice. There's brown rice in this, onion, there's some lentils, and then the mac and cheese, and I hadn't cooked the meat yet. So what I'm about to do, let's see, I'm about to, I'm about to just start cooking the meat. Put the skillet over here. And I need to get put this lid on this. I seen somebody there in the chat there for a second. Or like I seen that somebody was here. Hold on a second here. Hopefully I won't knock the phone down. Give me a second. I'm gonna get this meat out and put it in the skillet. Yeah, I was hoping I went to church this morning and I had a pretty good time. I don't know. So I keep seeing someone trying to watch. It shows two people now. One person kept popping in and out. I was just saying hello for the moment. I went to church this morning. Hadn't been since the week of Thanksgiving, so that you go figure. It's been pretty much about a month since I was at church. at a building called church, that is. Anybody that watches my channel knows that I consider myself kind of in church every day, even though, you know what I mean? Like, I have my own way of communicating with the divine and the big kahuna, as I like to call it. The big kahuna. Did you know I've had people think that by using the term big kahuna, I was talking about some new age or old god or some crap? And no, I was just referring to the creator itself, you know, like God, divine source, the source of creation, creator, great spirit, all those different words we can use to describe that thing, you know. But anyway, I hope you're all having a good day. I decided I'd go live for a little bit after church here. Like I said, if you were just tuning in, you might have seen me mixing up the pot there of the. It's a mixture of some lentils that I got yesterday at the pantry. A bag of lentils, and I got a bag of brown rice yesterday, and so I put a little rice, little lentils. I let them start first, and then I chopped up an onion, put it in it. Then I just added some macaroni and got that all about right. And now I've added the cheese mix in it, and it's good to go. But it's sitting over on the other cabinet on the other thing, and then now I'm putting some hamburger meat and a little bit of what was left of some sausage I had into my skillet to and that stuff, once it's cooked, I will be adding it to my pot of lentils and rice and macaroni and stuff. Making kind of a hodgepodge of something that I can eat on whenever I want to. I probably won't eat just immediately after it's ready, but it's something I can make, and I can be doing stuff with you guys, talking. Yeah, I'm happy to be alive today, man. I'm just happy to be alive. I'm just grateful to be here. Grateful that people even tune in and try to watch anything I do, man. You know, sometimes I get discouraged and I think I'm not making any difference in anybody's life, but you know, I get up in the mornings and I do what I do, and then it never fails. You know, a good comment or something on a video will come in, and you guys give me encouragement. And when I see that you guys are, you know, that something I've said or done in a video has influenced you to have a better day, that makes me feel better, you know, like, especially when I'm doubting myself, when I'm doubting what Grey Cloud's doing, when I'm doubting, am I ever going to, you know, amount to anything kind of stuff, which I am somebody, I am something, I am who I am, and I'm not trying to be any different than other than who I am, Grey Cloud, you know. But hey, I see another person popped in here. I don't know. Are y'all having trouble in the chat at all? I don't know. I'm hoping that you're able to, you know, I don't know if anybody's tried to chime in the chat yet. If you'll give me a second, I'm going to move into the room. Like, I'm going to get this meat started. I think I'll throw a little bit more in there. And then, I think that'll be enough meat. Then I got a little bit left that I'll, a little bit of ground beef here that I'm going to save. And I can cook it later or something. Yeah, I was hoping to get a little bit of money today or something up. And I was going to go over to this store that's just opened up in front of where my trailer park is. From what I understand, they have some really good pizza over there. So, of course, I haven't been to church in the past month, and this is the first time in a month. But the past 2 years, believe it or not, there was a lady that gave me $100 each Christmas. This year she didn't give me anything. But I was thinking it's probably because she wasn't expecting to see me today because I've been kind of absent. So she was, like I think some people, there have been several people like sometimes at church that have gave me stuff on Christmas or just helped me out without me even asking. And anyway, I was just blessed to be there and blessed to be around people that love me and care about me and stuff. I have to remember that, Okay. Hey, man. Hold on a minute. Let me read this. Fetching. Hey, brother. What you do makes a difference, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Is it fit? I don't have my glasses on them. Give me a second. I'm glad I just saw that, man. I was kind of getting worried that maybe there was a problem with the chat. Like I couldn't see a message. We had that happen one time. Like about probably about a month ago or something, maybe a month ago I had a live and, was going good, man. I had a live stream. There was a couple of people watching, and they were trying to chat with me, but nothing was showing up and I couldn't see it. And it wasn't until after I ended the live stream that somebody came back and commented on a video later and said, hey, we were chatting, we were there. But I figured it out. It's because I scheduled it on this device and then I went live on the other device, and that for some reason throws it off. I don't know why. I wouldn't think it would. But okay, Fetch It. Well, did you retract your own message there? I'm gonna assume you did. There ain't nothing you could have said probably that would be off kilter, I don't think. Unless you just didn't like what you had typed. I see that there was a message there, but I don't see what it was. It don't matter. I just appreciate you being here. But yeah, that's I'm cooking up some meat. A little bit of it's sausage, most of it's ground beef. I hear you, man. Like I used voice to text some, but most of the time I like to actually type out my words, just because with a even though voice to text is really good. There's still times if you say things just the wrong way or too fast, it picks it up wrong. And sometimes I would be talking and sending a text to somebody and doesn't send it. And then I can't see. I'm the world's worst. It aggravates me when I see that something's misspelled or that a certain word was used that I didn't intend. So I try to type everything out myself. And it also helps me with my spelling and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Typing it out myself and then letting words pop up and show, like if I start thinking I know how to spell something and then it pops up and I see how to really spell it. Y'all have to forgive me if I'm boring you, man. Yeah, that was just the ground beef and stuff. But the ground beef and a little bit of sausage. And then this right here is the brown. I got some brown rice in there, some lentils, and then a box of macaroni and cheese, and then I chopped up an onion. So that is done, and I'm cooking the meat. And then when that's done, and I get ready to eat, I can just kind of mix it all together, and that's what I do. Be something I can eat on, a couple different times. Usually if I make a pot of this kind of stuff, I'll be able to eat a couple of bowls right after, whenever I do get ready to eat, and then probably have another couple of bowls in the evening or later in the evening. And sometimes even sometimes I get about 4 or 5 bowls out of it. Might eat 3 or 4 that day, and then the next day finish off the rest. But like I said, I was wanting to get some pizza today, but I'm broke. I found out the store that is opened up in front of this trailer park opened up. I didn't know that till yesterday. It just opened the other day. I knew it was going to be opening soon, but they got some good food over there. It's a store, like a convenience store, but they're carrying like hot served food, like some pizza. It's a different type of pizza that's not been around in this little small area we live in. You know, them kind of pizzas. I was wondering if they were going to be having the type of pizza that some of these gas stations have, and it's a totally different brand of pizza. And my friend David said it was really good. He ordered some the other day. See, I got a thing in the mail. I can't wait to use this when I get paid. They're giving me like they also have some breakfast food over there, but buy one get one free of any breakfast item. They got like there's a coupon here, 50% off any large or medium pizza. Like so for your first purchase and everything. And then they got some other good deals. I see pictures of like they even got a hot sub there, man. It's just cool because I live out in the boonies. Oh yeah, man. That's why I get you. I'm just whipping up something. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't completely broke yesterday, but I had like $4 something on my card and then a bunch of change. David took me to the store, to a food pantry, and then to the store. I was able to get that ground beef, and then with some of the things I got at that pantry, that could tide me over for a few days, you know, and that's cool. But ever since yesterday when we drove by that store and I said, man, that store's open. I said, that store's open already? Yeah, it's open. And he said, man, I done ordered pizza from there. It's so good. And I was like, I see, look, there's a picture of what he said their crust is really, really good. Like, so anyway, that was one of the goals. I figure at some point between now and next week, I'll come up with some money somehow to get a pizza before I even get paid. You know, I get paid once a month. I'm on disability myself. Fetching. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I've ever seen you in the chat before. I don't go live that often just because I'm doing it off of a hotspot right now. So like I try to, I got to be mindful of my data on the hotspot. But what's cool is like if I'm on a live stream for like an hour, it don't, like if I go for an hour here on a live stream, it don't take but like maybe 1 gigabyte away, like a little less than a gigabyte off of the data from the hotspot. And what sucks is I had that other phone, or I had this phone I'm using, but it's on the hotspot. I had this phone unlocked so that I could make it my actual. Okay, fetching, cool. Weren't you in the comments? Was you in the comments? Yeah, off topic. I've only been following him for a little while. Like I've been watching his videos for a while, and then I've finally subscribed. I don't know how long back, and then off topic. I like to catch his live streams when he goes live. You know, like he's random. He's kind of like if an interesting piece of news pops up, he's going to go live on it. You know, and it could be any time of day. So I don't ever know. Which he said that. But I follow him on Twitter and X, and I like to promote. You know, like I retweet a lot of his stuff, and I enjoy his enthusiasm and his just his overall demeanor, man. Like he seemed like he'd be a cool guy to be around. I think, especially some of the stuff that I see him post, like today, the thing about Terrence McKenna. Because I read a lot about stuff like that, like Carl Jung, Terrence McKenna stuff. I like to study about different spiritualities, different religions, different cultures, kind of getting a broader perspective of where we're at in this universe, what's the ultimate, kind of. I hope I ain't boring anybody, sometimes I do these lives and I get a little anxious and feel like I am rambling and, yeah, Terrence McKenna, man, like The only thing that I regret, well, I don't regret anything, but the only thing that I hate, or that I say that I still have yet to experience is the whole DMT thing. Like that's how I got into Terrence McKenna, was reading about the spirit molecule, and that's how I discovered about DMT. I've got a lot of friends that have done that. Whether it be DMT itself or ayahuasca, which is what it's got DMT in it. But I've always wanted to explore that and be able to find a way to. Which, of course, there's things that can be done to make it do it yourself. Like I know the common reed that grows around here and stuff, a type of grass, you can take those roots, but you're going to have a lot of roots because you're talking about small roots from a grass, even though it grows tall. So you got to gather a lot of those roots to get just a small, you know what I mean? Like you'd have to get quite a bit of like raw root material to produce whatever amount of you're wanting. How do I look like a homeless Santa? I don't know. I don't find that that's not a bad take on the way I look, though. I've been on the streets plenty of times. Of course, when I've been on the streets and technically homeless, I've never labeled myself homeless. Like wherever I lay my head is where my home is. So it can be under a tree, it can be in this trailer, it can be in the bed. Well, thank you, Frank and Gator. No, I'm just saying, yeah, I never thought of myself technically as homeless, even though I didn't have maybe a building or an apartment that I went into. It doesn't matter if it's a 10 or, you know what I mean? Like, it's about perspective. How am I going to handle just because for me, anytime I was on the streets, anytime I've been on the streets, it was all because I wanted to be. It wasn't because I had to be. That was one thing I learned, and it would always frustrate me. So many different people would come to the streets and be like new to the street and be complaining about why they couldn't do this or that, or they'd be complaining about being outside, and I'd be like, well, if you don't like sleeping in a tent, then go to the shelter. 9 times out of 10, they'd be somebody that they were, especially if you get these couples that are homeless and they're not married. So like usually, and then shelter wise, you're going to have a female shelter and a male shelter. And then they don't want to go, they complain about being outside, but yet they don't want to separate long enough at nighttime for one to go into one shelter and one to go in another. But yet they still want to sit and complain all day long about having to sleep outside. And I'm like, okay, well, there's always a way. It's either make the best of it or figure out a better way to do whatever you're doing. Listen to me sound like I know something. I really don't know hardly anything, but yeah, I'm glad you came by, Fetching. And then Frankengator, it's cool to see you here. Yeah, I was talking about, I've had plenty of people over the years, though, talk about I look like Santa, like a big old jolly dude, I guess. Kind of am. Try to be, anyway. I try to be jolly. Try to be, oh, well, yeah. I understand that. Sleeping in the city, like when, the thing about being on streets, and if you're in a like congested area, like in a downtown area in a big city, a lot of times you deal with. Now, of course, I've never lived anywhere where it's like out in LA or any of them other places. Luke the Duke. Well, thank you, Luke. Now I feel beautiful. I don't know what I'll take that though. You know what I'm saying? My uncle Ronald used to say, when I was a little boy, my uncle Ronald would be like, he'd aggravate me. He'd go, "You're pretty. You're pretty." "No, I'm not. I'm not pretty." He said, "Yes, you are. You're pretty ugly." You know how uncles can be, man. That was cool. So you got Luke the Duke fetching, and then there's Frankengator. Hey, thanks, guys, man. I appreciate you guys being here. Uh, like I was saying, if you didn't catch, so right now, when I go live, I'm having to take my main phone, which is it works, and I have unlimited data. But when I bought this phone, I didn't know that this particular model phone, you can't. It's kind of like a little bit cheaper phone, and so going live, doing a live stream on this phone, I have to have Wi-Fi at the trailer, and I don't have Wi-Fi at the trailer, but I have a hotspot. So turn the hotspot on this phone. I use this old cracked screen Moto I have, and I go with it, and then I get 10 gigabytes of hotspot on the plan I use. But next week when I get paid, like I said, I'd had this phone unlocked, and then I was going to get the Sims card, but I wasn't factoring in shipping and stuff. So it was going to be like, I thought I had enough money because it was going to be 99 cents, but then when they added the shipping and everything, it's going to be like $8 or something. And I was like, man, I was so low on money. I was like, man, I need the $8 and something more right now than I need to order a Sims card for a device when I'm just a week or two away from, you know what I mean? I end up using the money for food or something I needed instead of. So what's going to happen is hopefully when I get paid, I'll get another phone. I'll set it up, and it'll be a phone like that I've had in the past where I could run a live stream any time of day I wanted off wherever I was at because my data was that good and stuff. But I think the processor in this phone or something is just, it don't have the ability to do the same. You're making it work. You're better at tech than stuff than I am. That's for sure. I wouldn't say all that, but I mean, I don't know. It's just a trial and error, I think, a lot. Yeah. I'm just grateful for I got home today and saw that Off Topic commented on a video of mine, which was really cool. And then he also told he subscribed, and I was like, cool, man. Like like a lot of times, like I don't expect him, especially someone with a bigger channel. Like his channel is a lot bigger than I could even imagine. But I think he said he'd been doing that for, what did he say, 7 years or something? Like, he started off with just doing stuff simple on a phone and real basic, and then worked his way up to where he's at. I'm sure he didn't know everything that he knows now how to do, but the only thing I hate is that this past year, somebody sent me a laptop with a really good laptop, touchscreen and everything. And I was going to try to figure it out, learning how to use it and everything. Because I've had laptops, but, when you hadn't had one in a while, each one's a little different. And but the next month, after I done got it, I went and pawned it. But I don't have an ID, and I had it pawned in somebody else's name. And then the next month, when it came to go get it out, the person that had the ID that I put it under, they were being pissy at me and mad about something, and they were like, well, I ain't getting it out for you. So, but needless to say, you live and learn. And I felt bad because it was a loyal subscriber that, now she didn't pay for it, but she had a friend with a nice laptop, and she got it. The friend sent it to her. She sent it to me, so she did have to pay like shipping and all that. Then I got it. I was trying to learn to do it, use it. Then the second month, but she wasn't mad at me. I just hate that. I hate that I screwed up a little bit, but that's a part of life. Heck, I didn't get to be. I'll be 51 next week, and I didn't get. Oh man, I can imagine spilled orange juice on it. I think I can turn this meat off now. Give me a second. The meat's done, pretty much. Yeah, that's done. Yeah. What y'all think? That's done there. Yeah, I'd say that's done. Oh, I don't know if we scared a few people off. I'm glad you're still here, though, Fitz. Uh, let's see. So I'm going to turn that off, and then here in a little bit, I'll get ready to. Right, like I said, I didn't make it this far. Like, you know, the mistakes that I keep making is the ones that I get frustrated about. But then, well, they're not mistakes anymore. You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain point where there's some mistakes I've made and I try not to repeat, but then there's things that I know very well are not the best in my best interest, and then I choose to do it anyway. And that's when I don't like, but that's just part of life. So there's like sometimes I make mistakes and sometimes I make poor choices. Does that make sense? Like sometimes it's a mistake and then sometimes it's a deliberate choice of me going against something I know isn't all that great to be doing or whatever. But I try to I do my best to just stay in the day I'm in. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, especially like every time I've ever been on the streets, it was all about a choice. You know, a lot of times if I've lived in a tent or whatever I've done, it's because I didn't want to stay in a shelter. I didn't want to listen to nobody else. I didn't want to have rules. You know what I mean? I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do, and I wasn't going to be told what to do and all this other crap. Now, that was when I was a lot younger. You know, it's like hard to eat when you're younger. A lot of times you're more naive. You're more think you know everything type of attitude, or that nobody's going to tell me how to live my life type of stuff. And, looking back, I realized sometimes some of the people weren't meaning nothing by it. They were just trying to help help me out along the way. But it's trial and error. What are you going to make, Fetch? And you said you was going to make you something to eat. I don't know if you're making something while you're listening or watching. I really appreciate each and everybody that shows up in these live streams for me. Anybody that comments on the videos, I always appreciate that. I was saying, I started this live stream off that way. Like, I was saying, especially on the days that I'm having struggling. Hey, Victoria. Okay, Fetching, you're making a grilled cheese. Cool. Hey, Victoria, it's good to see you. Fetching, that's Victoria in the chat. She's been subscribed for a while now. She comes by when she can. When I that sounded kind of. When I go live, she usually tries to stop in. A lot of times she's homeschooling her grand youngin. Okay, you're knee deep in cleaning today. I can I understand that. That's how my sister is a lot of times on the weekends. Like if my sister's off today, she's probably doing nothing but cleaning. But I'm guessing she might not be off today, or she gets every other week off. Like she'll work 6 or 7 days, or about 6 days a week, and then she gets one day off on the weekend a lot of times. Yeah, Victoria. Fetching's new here. I think today. I was real excited when I came home and I got on here. It's showing that so the channel finally reached 1,000 subscribers now. Like I was saying earlier, sometimes it'll show that I gained like
Like right now, when I got on here, it was showing 1,000, but and an hour or two later from now, it might drop back down and show 998 or 999 and be like a little under 1,000. Then tomorrow, all of a sudden, I'll get up and it'll pop back up to 1,000. But I don't know. I was kind of excited about that. You can't hear me? Hello? Did I mute it? Hold on. Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello? Hey, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Okay. I might have accidentally hit mute. I did something. I don't know. I hit this button over here, and I guess it's either that or I was something was fading out. Who knows? But yeah, getting out this morning or going to church today maybe put me in a better mindset. You know, like I don't go every time that the door's open. I was going pretty regular there for a while, like pretty regular, at least on Sunday mornings. And then, but like I hadn't been in about a month. And the last time I went then was also about a month from the last time. So it's been a little bit more infrequent here lately, but that doesn't stop me from still doing certain studies in my own personal life. And the key for me is constantly staying in communication with what guides me, but not just me talking, but listening too, you know. Hey, that's good. Well, I like to, sometimes people hear me talk about going to church and they might get a different, because I have a pretty big, broad perspective on, like when it comes to the whole God thing, we can get pretty deep here. Like I could go pretty far out there on some of the things that I know personally for myself, but I hold some things back just because I know some people aren't, it just depends. Like for instance, I know that some people are not capable of grasping anything outside of where they were maybe brought up or what they were taught, rather than branching out and maybe experiencing a little bit of it personally. For me, it's about, I want to know it and feel it and not just, I don't want to just hear it from somebody else's mouth. I want to know that what I'm feeling inside and I'm hearing in my mind, I want to know that it's coming from the right place. And it's like, I think Victoria's probably heard me say this before. No matter how many words I use, there's nothing I can say that's going to be able to describe it and convince anybody of anything. Like I can't make anybody believe in any of what it is I know to be true for myself. But that doesn't, you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, when I meet somebody and the subject of religion or God or any of that comes up, I try to assess where they're at. And they're say in the first 10 minutes, I try to grasp where they're coming from. What's their, I try to gauge on how far can we go into this conversation. Because if I go into certain places, I may get some resistance or someone, sometimes it's not relevant for me to bring up some things that I may know that I've experienced, and I know that they're not bad or that there's something wrong, that there's nothing wrong with it when meeting some people, because some people may have been taught about a certain thing that they believe to be evil or wrong. And if that's the way their mindset is, then you trying to convince them any other way is just going to make friction. So for me, I try to meet people where they're at and not try to share more than what they may be able to take in. Because I've done that before in my life. Meet somebody, get to talking about God and all this stuff, and I start unloading on some like far out there concepts. And before I know it, I've had people like literally be like, "Whoa, man, slow it down, slow down. You're making like I'm getting a little." Like they were getting overwhelmed. Like I was throwing out too much information too quick. Like they were willing to listen and they wanted to, get a bigger idea of what's going on there. But it was just coming out so quick because I was excited. But that's been a few years back, so I try to tone it down and try to be aware that not everybody's at the same place when it comes to some things in their life. We're not, well, like, I love talking about such things, and I like to share with people how the spirit moves in my life, and I like to share how the big kahuna, aka God, how it communicates with me and stuff like that. But like there's times that I can tell when someone's maybe not quite grasping where I'm coming from, but that doesn't mean we can't relate. I know when I first started experiencing God firsthand back in my 20s, like when I first, after 25, had no more doubts about that there is something there, I wanted to tell everybody. I just was like, and I was really crazed out at the time, still doing a lot of drugs and stuff. And I was just like, people thought I was just like, had done too much. They're like, man, he's just done too many drugs, like he won't shut up. All he wants to talk about is God. He just want to talk about this. He just want to talk about, and it wasn't just so many years later that I understood, hey, I wasn't letting stuff process long enough. I just wanted to share the experience. And it's like, some people were like, I don't know about all this anymore, But I also don't ever want to deny what I know, like because I do read from Jesus Calling, and I talk about the Christ and the Christ within us, or that piece of the light that's there if you're willing to tap into it. I talked about that a little bit today. Like if we're able to tap into that source light that is a part of us, then we can move through our days a little bit better, I think. And then, like even on a bad day, if I'm properly staying in tune with what it is that moves this universe, then even on bad days, a little bit of that light's still gonna shine. Even if it's a bad day, it's about attitude sometimes. Yeah, it's good to, Victoria's cleaning and, yeah, you knocked and he answered. Well, it's like, what I was saying, like, for instance, when I was saying that sometimes when I'm not feeling so sure about myself, maybe I'll get up one morning and there'll be a comment on a video and it's one of you guys, and it's just like, I'm thinking, like you said earlier, Fetching, I was talking about like sometimes I've questioned myself, like, am I making any difference to anybody, But when I see a nice comment or like someone in the chat and they're like, they're asking me questions, or they're like just giving, saying, hey, we're here. Anybody that's watched the channel also fetching. I end all my videos in with me saying ditto, and the way I say ditto, I'm just explaining this since you're kind of. I say ditto, ditto, and that's the way I say I love you to you guys on this channel. It's in memory of Sarah Boylan, who died in 2018 of a drug overdose. Very dear to me, a very good, dear friend. We were lovers, and then we were friends. We were best friends, lovers, and always best friends, even when we weren't together as lovers. So, but I just wanted to share that part. That's if you see any of the videos, and I'll always sign off usually with, "Hey, Great Cloud, say to the eternal moment, over and out, ditto." And that's my way of telling you I love you. And so a lot of times in the comments, a lot of you guys will just say ditto in the comment, or God bless you, brother, ditto. And that's our own little thing here in our community. It's but I say that in honor of someone's memory. Yeah, man, ditto. And I didn't bring that up as a bad thing, like a sad thing. I just wanted to, because I realize that you're new to the channel and whatever. So I wanted to explain that. And I do explain that from time to time in videos. For, like after a while, it's necessary for me to try to establish that. Because, there's always new people coming in and subscribing. So if, they might be like, why does he end the video with ditto? Well, if you didn't previously see me explain it, you wouldn't know why. I want to do a shirt where it's got the word ditto and then it says equals love, or ditto means I love you or something like that. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but. Yeah, Sarah was, I just hated it because she was younger than me, but she turned 26 in February of that year, and she died in that March. And she died about a week before she was going to be, I was living in North Carolina. She was going to come to North Carolina and be with me. She was in Pennsylvania. We hadn't seen each other in about 8 or 9 months. And she was going to come back to North Carolina. And she went out to have a good time one night. Supposedly, she had not been doing any heroin or anything for 6 or 8 weeks. But I guess when they went out that night, I think they got to drinking, and her and her friend decided to get some. And then she didn't wake up. So, But that's, that's just part of life also. I mean, I've tried, I never got into opiates as much as some people, I've tried it, done a lot of pills. I've even tried heroin and all that, but it never affected me in the same sense as some people. So I was always grateful for that. I was more into when it came to harder drugs, I was more into something that was more of an upper, but I'm not here trying to brag about no kind of usage of anything. I don't want to glorify anything like that. Even though I do still partake of the greenery and stuff like that, and I mean, if I was to be blessed with some kind of way of having some psychedelics or something, I would still partake in a trip or two. I mean, last year, my friend sent me some, because my birthday, he sent me a package for Christmas, and it was a skateboard, which I can't really ride anymore, physical stuff, but I tried to tell him I didn't need a skateboard anymore. I would love to be able to ride, but just even stepping on it is sketchy for me nowadays, and I hate that because I always was able to still ride, but if I fall down on the board nowadays, it's going to hurt me pretty bad. Got a bad back where I've had back surgery, old broken knee, all that kind of stuff. But I used to never have trouble at least still riding. Now it's I get scared just trying to ride it. But it's nice to have it. But what I was getting at is in that package, he sent me a chocolate bar that was mushrooms last. So I took some the day I got the package, and then I also had a little bit. I left, saved a little bit of it for my actual birthday too. So it was like kind of a Christmas / birthday gift. Oh. And like when it comes to that kind of thing, like I'm not trying to sound like, but like certain things I've learned to use. I don't know. Depends on what you did and how much, and then also if what you had was it. The source might not have been that good. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was. But I have taken something in the past that was working for everybody else, and I've taken it and not felt much of anything like. And I've attributed that before to can be a lot of factors. If you've done too much, or I know I've done a lot. Matter of fact, like a few years ago, like I don't mean to sound like I ain't trying to glorify it, but a few years ago, about 4 years ago, somebody that lived in the trailer park had a little bit of SID, LSD, and gave me one hit. I was appreciative, and I remember in my mind after I took it thinking, I ain't gonna feel much, because you're talking about back in the day, I'd eat anywhere from 5 to 10, and just trip balls. But that one hit, and it had been years though, but that one hit was pretty intense and very good. And I was so surprised that I felt the way I felt off of one hit after so long and everything. Well, yeah, I'm not talking about whether, like, it's not something that if, obviously if I don't have it, it's not something that goes, I don't have to have those things to be all right. But I do like, when I'm able to use certain things like that, I use them not to escape. I use it to explore my mind and my thoughts, like a tool. I think some people don't understand that. Yeah, I love listening to music. I listen to music a lot. Good conversation. Yes, I mean, I love it when people are wanting to talk about these type of things. But matter of fact, on X, there's this one person that just started following me. This lady, and she sent me a message asking me about something about truth and all that, like an actual. She sent me a question. She sent me a direct message about something of substance, rather than like, okay, I followed back, and then she hits me up and was like, "Well, where are you from? What you know?" It was like right on point. It was like a question about like truth, about where we come from and stuff like that, and that was on point. I was like, so I responded, and I was like, thanks for bringing up a good topic. Like I can't stand it when I follow someone and then they DM me and it's all like real superficial, like, where are you from? How old are you? Have you ever been married? Do you got any kids? All that kind of stuff. It's like, oh man, not again. Well, music for me is like it just depends on my mood. Yeah, it's like I don't like a lot of mainstream stuff. Like when it comes to new music that is popular in the world, there is a lot of garbage. But No, I've never seen the movie, but I have heard about it. Which, if you hadn't said it's about a fast snail, I would not remember. But when you said that, I remember the, I don't know how I say this, Tikimoto. Anyway, so the question is, have you seen the movie Turbo? It's about a fast snail. I remember that idea behind it, and I probably saw if that's really a movie, I'm saying I think I remember seeing previews or seeing a video on YouTube of someone talk about it or something like that. Okay, Fetchin's seen it. Sounds like it might be interesting, but it sounds like it might be fun. Maybe I'll check it out. Like, it's a lot hard. Yeah, like I don't watch a lot of movies that are like digitally animated. Like when it comes to animation, I like the older stuff. You know, like I like animation that looks like it's drawn like but that's not that doesn't mean I don't like stuff. Cause like I remember when the movie which one was it? Bugs Life or Ants? One of those two. Me and my mom actually went. I was an adult, but we went and actually watched like one of those two movies in the theater, and that was a fun experience. Of course, the animation digitally then wasn't nearly like it is now. I've never seen it. He's too fast for me. Scary. Yeah, like that's why I tend to like, even if it's still done like digitally, but like with a like a pen on the digital. I like it when it looks like it's 2D, like it's on a piece of like the anime looks like most anime or your older style cartoons, like you said, hand drawn and everything. But so Dikimoto, you haven't seen it. He's too fast for you. Then why'd you ask us about the movie? I think you're just being funny, ain't you? Let's see. Right before I got on here, I checked my hotspot. It was like, I think I had like 5.7 gigabytes, so it was almost 6. We've been on here like an hour, so I still got about 5 gigabytes left. I'm going to beat on this bucket for a second, guys. I don't know, like a lot of times, when I'm start a live stream and like before anybody shows up, I'll have the bucket sitting there so I can kind of have something to do. Because like today I was involved in cooking, so I just started off with showing what kind of part of what I was cooking and talking, even though nobody was there. And then you kind of showed up, I think, trying to figure this out. But like this is something I can do. Like when I start the live stream and somebody I'm waiting for people to show up, I can be like, let's see. think I'm getting a little anxious, or like usually let's see what time it is too. I need to look at the time. It's 3:03, which I don't have nothing I have to do or anything other than eat here in a little bit. Which we already know. My food is ready. I just got to make it up and eat. Yeah, man, I think I'm going to get off of here. I was just kind of like trying to figure out what I was going to do. I'm about ready to eat, and I already cooked my food. So, hey, thanks for being here, Fetching. And if you see me live again and you're able to be there, stop by. I don't know. I'm going to try to go live sometime this week. It might be Christmas Eve. It might be Christmas Day, something like that. I don't know yet. See how things are going. Now, Christmas Day, I might be able to ride with my friend to have some Chinese food. Him and his wife are going down to that. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. We've been on there for a little over an hour right now, and I think that's a good I really appreciate everybody. Victoria, ditto to everybody. I love you guys, man. I'm happy to be able to say I'm happy. Yeah, y'all have a good day. And until next time, man, this has been wonderful. Mr. Greycloud here, Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out. Ditto.